We are going live. I am, an error occurred. Well, I'm live. I just need the chat. That's all I need. All right. Good evening, everybody. I am going to get to your names here in just a sec. Who do we got? We have Gary T. Jerry, 3D printing and painting. We got Snapshot FPV and Gary T again. Yeah. It is not minus 30 here tonight, but I do appreciate the thought. I'm just going to pull this chat out here. Just give me a second, and then we're going to get underway. Hey, there's David Sell. Welcome. My laptop is slower than molasses in January, so you just have to bear with me. Are you guys getting good audio? Just let me know. Come on, chat, pop out for me. You're going to be like that tonight. Okay. All right. Well, the chat doesn't want to pop out for us, so I'm going to have to look over here. So if I'm looking off camera, you'll know why. So we have Tim McCoyne. Welcome. We've got Ken Starrock. There's Richard Taylor, my good friend. Mikey Stokes. Sausage. Rex Waldy. Art Eckstein. High Tech Redneck. John Kitchen. Robert Reynolds. Jared Armstrong. And we are good to go. Welcome to the first layer. And our initiative for 2020 is Ask for Help. So what we're going to do on these Saturday night live streams from now on, and because I don't have somebody monitoring the chat for me, I am going to be looking over here, so you guys don't panic, and I apologize if it's a little distracting. First and foremost, let me clean my glasses. They're filthy. I spent all day in the studio today trying to get things done. Brian was with me, but unfortunately he is not with us this evening. He has to pick up his mother from the airport. So it's not totally freezing. It's only minus 19 Celsius here right now. So we're not doing too bad. Audio is good. Audio is okay, but picture is real dark. Well, that's because we're in my home studio, and it is going to be dark in my home studio. We're working on some more background lighting, so bear with us for the next little while. I hope that you guys will. So let me tell you what Ask for Help is. Ask for Help is your chance to ask questions through email. We set up a special email called questions@thefirstlayer. If you have questions about 3D printing, finishing, upgrading, whatever it may be, you can always come to us and ask us the question, and then we can share it with everybody here on our live streams on Saturday night. So, diving right into that, I know I've got to say hi to a couple more people. Hey, there's Raymond Emsley. Picture's real dark. Let me see if I can upgrade that. Just give me 1 second. I've got lots of light on me, so it shouldn't be too dark. Let me see if I can bring that up a bit. You guys are going to see my settings for a second here. Too dark. I may have to go to ISO. Let's go the other way. That's really bright. That's better, right there. There we go. That's got to look better there. Okay, how do I look? Do I look normal? Is it really dark, or is it better now? You guys let me know. Just heading out for dry. Yeah, Brian's going to get his mom. Howdy, everyone. Jim Harabank. Hello. I did say hi to everybody else, I believe. Nope, Joseph Jolly I missed. All right, so lower the f-stop and increase the ISO. That's exactly what I just did. Okay, so let's get into what tonight is all about, and that was asking questions. And you guys did good. You asked me some questions. We have our first one from Kevin Conrad, and his question tonight is, I have a puzzling one, he says. I have the printer that has developed an issue with the bed heating by itself. The power supply is 12 volt DC output. What I've discovered is that the bed carriage and the Z lead screw are slowing or showing a positive 12.8 volt DC on them constantly, even when the motors have been disabled and not printing. If I touch the screwdriver to any of the components mentioned above and deliberately touch the metal skin of the printer chassis, I get a spark. What I've troubleshooted so far is the voltage being read on the Z axis is the same voltage as on the power supply output. If I swap the Z and the X motor drives, the same condition exists. If I remove the Z axis stepper driver, the condition stops. This condition concerns me enough that I have stopped using that printer until I'm able to fix it. But even though the voltage is present, the motor and machine seem to be working fine other than the bed heating by itself. So what that tells me is that if your bed is heating by itself, you probably have a MOSFET issue. Either on your board or the MOSFET. Usually it's on the board. Now you could have another issue, and I believe that's, something could be blown on your board. And that would be what I would check first. The main board's a Gen L 1.0 from Maker. There's no SSR from the heater because the heater is DC voltage. You can use okay, Conrad, you can use a MOSFET, an external MOSFET with the MKS boards. MKS makes their own MOSFET. I recommend you look into it. I believe, though, you may have blown something on your board. I could be wrong, but I would double check that, maybe change out the board, or first of all, try the stepper drivers. Well, no, based on what you said here, the stepper driver wouldn't be the problem. So I'm going to say you've probably blown the MOSFET on the board for the bed if it's heating by itself. Without you telling it to heat, that usually is a good indicator of that. So I would go ahead and put a new board in there. The Gen L boards aren't very expensive. And then go ahead and buy yourself a MOSFET as well. I think they're about $25 from MKS. You can get them through spool3d.ca or through any of your favorite retailers, depending on where you are. So let's see what we got going on over here. Yes, we can see the Canadian suntan. Thank you. Sounds like your wire's making contact where it's not supposed to. Yeah, it's creating a short, and usually that happens when the MOSFET blows. I've had it happen on a couple of my boards in the past, and I know that as soon as that bed starts heating up on its own, one of my Ender 3s, in fact, the MOSFET blew on the board, and the bed went to 120 degrees. Before I caught it, and when I did catch it, I was real close to burning down my office. If that had gotten any hotter than that, it would have caused significant damage. So I replaced the board, and everything has been working fine since then. So that's something I would check into. So let us go to the next one from me, Jim McGregor. Jim McGregor says, I have a CR10 and an Ender 3. Due to clogs, I've had to trim the PTFE tubing. Now I want to order some from Spool 3D, but they have various sizes. Which tubing do I need to order for 1.75 millimeter filament? Jim, the type that you need is inner diameter 2 millimeter and outer diameter 4. So when you're looking on your favorite site, whether that be Spool 3D or you're looking on Amazon or GearBest or AliExpress, you are looking for PTFE tube that has an inner diameter of 2 millimeters and an outer diameter of 4 millimeters. And that will be the direct replacement for any of those Creality machines or any machines that are coming with a PTFE tube. Hey, there is Ben Brady. Good evening. I'm taking a look here. Normal is the only setting on my washing machine. I get that. Moska. Have you guys seen Ivan Miranda's massive printer build? Planning on doing it myself. I have not seen that yet. If you can send me a link to that in the description or in the comments below this evening, that would be great. We are going to go till 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to keep up with the questions this evening, and I've got too many mice here. That's my problem. This is a weird thing because when you do this on your own, it's really weird to switch everything when you're not looking directly at your computer, which mine is right here, and I'm using the laptop to get all your questions. And you're looking at the computer to see all of your comments. Please, if you are new here tonight, please consider subscribing. Also like and share with your friends. Leave a comment down below in the comment section if you found tonight's live stream useful for you or informative. Share it with your friends, share it with other people in the 3D printing community. We do really appreciate that. Yeah, Ivan's printer is awesome. Again, I haven't seen it. Somebody send me a link to that. So, this is a question for Brian, but Brian's not here tonight. So, now that Marlin 2.01 has been released, all of the new features that are available, which one do you feel would be beneficial to add? Rex, I've actually looked at the latest version. I haven't had a chance to really go into the new features. Again, Marlin 2.0 or 2.0.1 does utilize a lot of what the predecessor 1.9 was. Now, here's the difference. It now has capacity to use the ARM chips. However, Arduino hasn't really caught up to that yet. So if you are going to use any of the SKR boards or 32-bit boards that have an ARM processor on them, you're going to have to use Visual Studio Basic or Visual Studio Code, pardon me, with the Platform IO. It is the best way to do it. I did last weekend upgrade a CR10 to the latest version of Marlin with the Creality example files, and it worked fine. Well, I've had no issues with it. As far as the new features go, I'm going to look into them. We are going to be doing a couple of videos on Marlin, and I hope I'll be able to answer your question in those videos a little bit more clearly. So let's move on to the next one. I keep grabbing the wrong mouse. So another one from Rex. I have searched for a quieter fan 4010 for my Ender 3 Pro, which has the Big Tree SKR Mini E3. Any suggestions of what to obtain or where to obtain one? Rex, you can get fans either on Amazon, AliExpress, GearBest, or even from spool3d.ca. Now, the particular fan that you're talking about, I would either go with a ball bearing fan because those ball bearing fans are going to last you longer. They're not necessarily quiet, but they do last longer and they do a really good job of cooling. Now, there are some fans out there like the what are the beige ones? I can't remember the name of it. Somebody's going to tell me in the comments here right shortly. I'm going to get to your question in just a second. They're permanently patriotic. Yeah, so as far as that goes, 4010 fans, get yourself ball bearing fan. That's going to help your printer. I put ball bearing fans in all of my printers now, and I haven't looked back. My Ender 3 that I have at the shop, that one has still the stock fans on it, but I will be replacing those because I need to bring the volume down in my office and in that recording space. All right, so permanently patriotic. I just got an Ender 3. I bought a hardened steel nozzle, but it doesn't extrude like the brass nozzle. What should I do? I'm printing at 205 degrees already with normal PLA. Do I need to go a little hotter? Yes, you are going to have to go a little bit hotter. I would take it up to 210. I would also recommend that you check down in the videos on this channel, and there is a way to do what's called a temperature tower, and I recommend that you do a temperature tower for your filament so you'll know exactly what temperatures you're going to need with that new nozzle that is on there. Noctua, thank you. Noctua, that's the fans. And Spool 3D carries Noctuas as well. 10 doesn't push enough air for the hot end. I'm not sure about that. I think that going up by 5 degrees is a good idea. Try it at 210 and see what happens. Let's check out a question here from Bill McDonald. He says, I found an interesting Reddit post about converting an Ender 3 Pro to a Prusa style printer. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Well, I haven't looked at the article. Maybe I should. Let me see if I can pull up the article. No, it's not going to allow me to. Yeah. Bill, as far as converting your Ender 3 Pro to a Prusa, why? What's the point? You can do enough upgrades to make it operate and print, in my personal opinion, just as good as a Prusa. Now, there are some upgrades that you can do, of course, that hot end being number one. Upgrade your extruder. If you want to go to the 32-bit board, I highly recommend the SKR boards, the E3 Dip or the E3 Mini. Both of those are great boards. One comes with 2209 steppers and the other one comes with 2208 steppers. Both are great boards. I've used the E3D Dip or the E3 Dip board, and with the 2208 UART steppers, I've had no problems. The prints came out beautiful, and it's just converting it over to a Prusa. It doesn't make any sense. You know, if you're going to go with an E3D hot end, Micro Swiss makes just as good a hot end for the Ender 3. Yeah, they're about the same price, but you don't have to rewire a whole bunch of stuff. It just makes it really easy and easy to do. You are very welcome there, Permanently Patriotic. Ben says he doesn't put Noctuas on 24-volt printers. You can put Noctuas on 24-volt printers, but you are going to have to use a buck converter to step it down. That's just the way that it goes. You'll have to get a variable buck converter that you can dial in the voltage for that fan. Tim McCoy retracted his message. I don't know why. Okay, so Bill McDonald has one more. Oh no, I guess that's. Oh, I guess he's got another sort of add-on to this question. I really liked that you guys sent questions today. Bill McDonald is ultra-racious on YouTube. I will look at that post on Reddit this evening and let you know. I'll send you out an email going from there. So that pretty much does all of the questions. Now, we did get some questions, so that's cool. So we want to keep going with those questions. Now, our initiative this year is really to take this Saturday show, this live stream show, and give you guys the best information that we can. I mean, we're not experts, but we know enough to be able to give you guys the best information that we know. I work with 3D printers each and every day. That is part of my job. I do a good chunk of the repairs over at Spool 3D. That's part of my job. As far as Delta printers go, not really my forte, but I will be taking one of the Delta printers home from work in a little while, and I'm going to be playing with it and getting really familiar with Deltas so that I can help you guys that have Delta printers out there, and maybe help you if you're looking at buying a Delta, to help you make an informed decision on, you know, what you guys should be looking at when looking at a Delta printer. AnyCubic is sending us out a brand new printer. I can't tell you what the printer is at the moment, but I can tell you that we are going to be doing a review on a brand new series printer from AnyCubic. It is in the Mega series, but I can't tell you what the new model is, and I can't even show you pictures because I'm under NDA for that. But that being said, you guys are going to see some new reviews this year. We are going to try and get away from doing filament reviews. I still have a bunch of filament in my office that I have to test out and play with and send a final report back to Kodak. I have some other filaments in my office that I really like. I did get the chance recently to try Prusa filament, which is amazing stuff. However, it's $130 on Amazon in Canada right now. Very limited, it's very expensive. I really like the way that the Prusa filament is rolled. I like the quality of the filament. I've printed a couple things for an upcoming episode where we're going to talk about different prints for your office and how useful they can be. So let me see here. Do you need Mikey Stokes is asking, do you need special settings for a pancake motor? You should not need special settings for a pancake motor. Not as far as I know. I could be wrong about that, but all my experience says you should not need any special settings. Let's go to Trevor Rickert. Hey, got a quick question. I have a CR10 with the upgraded SKR 1.3 with the 2130 drivers. I get a little bit of lines through my print ghosting. I put foam on my CR10, but I'm still getting ghosting. The foam's not going to take care of that ghosting. You're going to have to slow down the print, and you're going to have to slow down the jerk. So the jerk settings are probably set a little bit too high. I would change them down to 8, depending on what slicer you're using. If you're using Cura, you can change them right in Cura so they go right into the G code as it's being sent to the card. Slow down your prints to about 45 to 50 millimeters per second, and that should eliminate, if not drastically reduce, your ghosting. What's your thoughts on the Anycubic Predator printer? Joseph Jolly's asking. My thought on the Predator is the one that we got into the shop, and you guys may have seen that review. It was done by the lovely Jess Corniching. I think I need a little bit of something here in my throat. I just got over a really nasty cold that started New Year's, so bear with me. I do apologize. So the Anycubic Predator, I haven't had a lot of chance to play with it. The first print that I did on it failed. We have done other prints in the shop with it. It seems to work well. Again, I don't know a lot about Delta printers. That one has some unique features. It's got a really nice auto bed leveling system. The only thing I'm concerned about is the flying extruder setup that they have. It's on 3 springs, so it actually floats above the effector where the head is, and it seems like it can cause a little bit of backlash. So I'd have to go back and check it again, but for what it is, I think it's a decent printer especially for the price. It's got a good build volume as well. Be awesome, Mikey Stokes is saying, be awesome if you can do some review on linear rail printing. I will be doing some linear rail printing very soon, and I am going to film that, so watch for that video, and it'll be announced when it comes out. That just reminds me, if you guys aren't subscribed to the show, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the little bell so you get notified whenever we've got brand new episodes coming out. And we are trying to stick to our schedule, a brand new episode every Wednesday and a live stream every Saturday night. If we can keep it up, I hope we can. We are trying to get to Shenzhen this year. Super Chat is turned on. So if you guys feel like you want to throw us a couple of coins to help us get to Shenzhen, all of our YouTube money is helping us to get there. So, Mike Stadola. I hope I'm butchering that name. I'm sure I am. I use a Ryan OD 4010 24-pound fans from Amazon. If they're working for you, great. I'd love to get a link to those. 130-year-old. Does it come with tickets to China? No, it does not come with tickets to China. .gp. Hi, I have an Ender 3 and changed the board to the SKR Mini. Made it very quiet except the extruder motor. makes a noise scratchy whilst printing and for about 30 seconds after printing. Is this normal? No, that is not normal. I would check that board, make sure that all the voltages are pretty much the same across the board. You can do that by taking a multimeter and just taking the positive lead, putting it on the little potentiometer that's on the board, and taking the negative lead on your multimeter and grounding that to the negative line that's coming in. And make sure that they're all the same. I think they should be in 0.8. It should be the number that you should be looking for there. Thank you, Mikey. Mikey says, thank you, you're awesome. Love all your videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you for taking the time to answer my questions. That's what we're here for. That's what Saturday nights are all about, is answering questions for you guys. And I really want to make this a permanent thing, that this is what we do on Saturday nights. It's good interaction. It's great time. Leave a comment down below. Share this with your friends. To convert an Ender 3 to direct drive or not is the question. Permanently Patriotic is asking. It depends. I've never saw the need to convert mine to a direct drive. Once you make it a direct drive, remember, you only have one lead screw holding up that whole X axis. So as it rides up that one lead screw, that weight goes to the other side, so it can drop that because there's nothing there really holding that in place like another lead screw would, like on the CR10. So on an Ender 3, I don't see a need to do it. Terry Murphy. Yes, Jerry Knapp. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check out Jerry Knapp's channel. It's 3D, let me just see, 3D P&P, is it now? Or is it, Jerry, it's 3D printing and painting. Go and check out Jerry Knapp's channel. Jerry, go ahead and put a link to your channel there, and then people can go and check it out. He's building a Core XY. It is an amazing build. It's a Hypercube, I believe. He's doing a great job on it. I've watched a couple of them. Captain Calgary, can I bring my TiVo Tarantula for a tune-up, and what's your rate? Yes, you can bring it to Spool 3D for a tune-up. The shop rate is $40 an hour. So hopefully that answered your question. Jason Silver, love your Saturday shows. Thanks for doing these, Richard. Oh, thank you very much. I do have a minor question. I posted a question to the page about your video on the SKR E3. By chance, did you get a chance to see it? Jason, I did not. I apologize. Sorry. I really don't have an excuse. I should be monitoring that more. My wife is taking up a lot of that stuff that I can't get to from 9 to 5. So she's going to be watching those questions more often, but please ask me a question again so I can go ahead and answer that for you. If you're having a problem with that E3 dip, I'd really like to know about it. Permanently Patriotic, thank you again. I'm a new subscriber and this live video has been super helpful. Look forward to these in the future. Well, thank you very much again for being a subscriber, and I do appreciate it. The more people that see this, the more we grow, the more we can give you guys even better information. So that is that. I want to know how many people have been printing the Baby Yoda. How many people have printed Baby Yoda, or the child, as it's called from The Mandalorian? Or what have you guys done Mandalorian-wise? I know that Jerry Knapp over at 3D Printing and Painting, he's done the helmet. I think he's done a couple of Baby Yodas as well. Jason Silver, there seems to be a part in the video where you're telling us we need to do something, then you cut to another part. Let me just, I'll have to go back to that video. Jason, I'm going to look for your comment on the page, and then I'm going to get back to you on that. Permanently Patriotic, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Terry Murphy quits. Okay, I'm not sure what that was. Nope, I need a tune-up. Okay. John Kitchen, 3 Yodas. M50 Bobbler, or Bobber, baby. Are you calling me baby? I'm not sure what you're doing there. High Tech Rednet, tips on printing with Polymaker wood fill. And I just printed a baby Yoda out of the wood fill. Didn't turn out, but didn't turn put too good. So did it turn out good or didn't it turn out good? I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. Oh, Terry Murphy, quitty on baby Yoda. Okay, there we go. Printed 9 baby Yodas, Mark Stodola. Man, I'm gonna butcher that. Rex Walty, I have printed a baby Yoda. Jason Silver tagged you in the post to help. Thank you very much. I will definitely go and look at that. 1 full-size helmet, 3 50% helmets. John Kitchen. Wow, what are you doing with all the helmets? Are you giving them away? Are you painting them up? What's my favorite filament, Mikey's asking. My favorite filament is the filament I use all the time. It is the Spool 3D filament. I compare all filaments that come into me for review against that because it's not a premium filament, but it is a filament that has premium properties. It's got a lot more virgin material in it than, say, a regular filament in the same class. So when you're printing with it, your first layer, when it goes down, it looks a little translucent and it could freak you out. But don't worry, it does fill in and it looks amazingly beautiful at the end. And do I have, oh, I do have something. Hang on. I'll be right back. Because I'm a sucker, yes, I've printed a baby Yoda as well. And I have one right here that I printed for my wife. And yes, Yoda is sitting behind me. My puppet Yoda is sitting behind me. So here we go. Here's the baby Yoda that I printed for my wife. And this was done in the first layer dark gray, which is sold by Spool 3D. And I think it came out great. This was done at 0.12 millimeters in layer height. Very nice skin detail on it. It looks amazing. I really, really like it. But as far as filament goes, again, Spool 3D, I have no complaints about theirs. So theirs right now ranks right up. And I've used a lot. I've used the Kodak. I've used the Sunlu stuff. Sunlu is not my favorite. I've tried the Amazon Basics, not a big fan of it. I've tried the Econofills from some other people as well, and not a big fan of Econofills. The problem with Econofill is you get what you pay for. So if you're getting a 1 kilogram roll at $12 or $10 or $15, and it says Econofill on it, there's a lot of crap in that filament. Yes, you can print it at a lower temperature, but there's a lot of crap in that filament. You're not doing your printer any good by using Econofill filaments. If you're doing stuff to prototype, again, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're not doing your printer any service by using those types of filaments. I would rather you use something that's a little bit more expensive, has a little bit better quality, get better prints and less disasters or failed prints. Amanda M, thank you very much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Found your videos when I bought a CR10S last month. Thanks. Have fun in China. Thank you very much, Amanda. And welcome to the show. All filaments are about the same price. Yeah, $15.99. That's about right. Any recommendations on what baby Yoda to print? Some of them look a little strange. I found this one on Thingiverse. I liked it. It didn't look too bad. There is one that is out there now that is actually, you can make it into a doll. It's about 16 or 18 inches tall. It's got a body with moving arms, moving hands. You can move the head, you can move the feet. and then you dress it yourself. So you have to do a little bit of sewing. Robert Marvin, question, how do I determine what model my PR10 printer is? The display says PR10 3D 300. It only has a lead screw on the left side of the printer from the front. So I'm going to assume that it's got a 300 by 300 build plate. So you've got a 12-inch by 12-inch build plate essentially. It's probably a clone of a CR10, not a CR10S. The original CR10s came out with a single lead screw, which to me was a bad idea. And the community felt the same way because right shortly thereafter the CR10 hit the market, well, maybe about a year, they started adding upgrade kits, and then once after those upgrade kits came out, they launched the CR10S, which had a dual lead screw. I believe you could probably buy yourself a CR10S or a CR10 upgrade kit and upgrade your printer if you wanted to. The first layer gray, good for printing, Gary T says. Thank you, Gary. I love it. John Kitchen had good luck with Solutech. I haven't tried Solutech yet. I have tried, what have I tried? I've tried Kodak for sure, Sunlu, Arion, of course. You guys know that I tried Arion, Amazon Basics. I think out of all of them, Arion and the Prusa Filament are two of my favorites, but the Prusa Filament is just stupidly priced on Amazon in Canada. Dan Adams, so it's garbage in, garbage out with the filament. Yes, absolutely. If you're buying garbage filament, you're going to end up with garbage results. That's all I can say about that. Did I miss your opinion on my question, Alteracious? I sent you an email, Ender 3 to Ender Prusa conversion. Yes, you did miss the answer to that, but I am going to reiterate it for you. As far as converting an Ender 3, I didn't get a chance to read the Reddit post on it yet, but just based on my own opinions, and again, this is strictly just my opinion, I don't think there's a need to. I mean, with a couple of upgrades to the Ender 3, like the hot end, the extruder, and maybe going to a 32-bit board, that is going to help you more so than trying to make it into a Prusa. Why try and make it something it's not? You're going to get just as good a print out of that Ender 3 with a couple of upgrades to that than you would out of a Prusa. You also have a bigger build volume than you do on a Prusa. So I actually would say the board, the hot end, and the extruder, you've got yourself a great little machine. So Robert Marvin, it is a 300 by 300. Okay. Multiverse 3D Designs has good Baby Yoda models on Thingiverse. Okay, we'll check those out. Rasmus Wallen, hello, hi. Who else do we have here? Amazon 3D and Hatchbox I've also tried. Hatchbox, I have tried their filament. Not a bad filament. I don't mind it. I sometimes find that it's hit and miss. Finishing up first successful print on that now, Robert Marvin. Corey Mack, I like 3D Solutech as well, he says. Okay. Best of luck with the Hatchbox. Best of luck is with Hatchbox 4 for Terry Murphy. Alterations got a 32-bit board, new extruder, Capricorn tubing, but not a new hot end yet. I tried a Hulker Micro Swiss clone, but it was terrible. Yes. Okay, let's talk about clones for a minute. Clones, just keeping an eye on the time. Clones, I do not agree with. I hate clones. I've tried clones for the E3D. Some people have come to me with their Micro Swiss clones. I've seen clones on the Bondtech stuff, and it all seems to fail. Why? Because they're not done to the same tolerances that the manufacturer, like Micro Swiss, E3D Bondtech will do with their parts. The cheaper you make it, and this is probably a lesson for people when you're buying parts, sometimes you're going to have great success. Sometimes you might be in the mind frame like think of it like going to the dollar store, okay? You can go to the dollar store and buy yourself a water pick, or you can go to Walmart and buy a water pick, a real water pick, or you can buy a knockoff water pick from the dollar store. The dollar store one might be, $3 or $5, or maybe even $10, while the one over at Walmart is going to be closer to $30 to $60. Do you buy the brand or do you buy the knockoff? Well, the knockoff may start leaking in a short period of time. It may start to break down on you. It may just be a bad overall. It may not work out of the box. And that's something I find with clone products of some of the higher end stuff, like the Capricorn tubing, like the Bondtechs, like the E3Ds and the Microswisses of the world. When companies go and try and rip off those companies or rip off their designs, I know E3D, before anybody jumps on me, E3D was an open source design, so I get that. And they make all that stuff available to everybody. Just be aware that when you buy good, you get good. When you buy crap, you get crap. And that's been my philosophy for a long time. My wife and I constantly fight over this because she loves to go to the dollar store. And I don't mind spending the extra $5 or $10 to get the real McCoy, so to speak, where she will go to the dollar store and buy it today and next week and the week after and the week after that because it keeps breaking on her. I just go strictly to the source. I buy it from the source or a reputable retailer that I enjoy, and that's the way that I prefer to do it personally. Richard, do you have the bad XTC connectors on the Ender 3? No, I do not, Marv. All of the ones that are on my Ender 3s, even the ones that I had prior to my Ender 3 Pro, all of those were genuine XTC connectors. Creality has stepped up their game. Now they apologized, I believe, publicly about the XTC connectors because they were farming those out. So they wouldn't just get the connector in their factory, they would get the connector with the leads already on it. Now their third-party company that was doing them didn't solder them for a while, they crimped them. And you can't crimp an XTC connector because it just doesn't make the proper contact, and it will burn because it's going to arc. It has to be soldered. The ones that they have now on the Pros, beautifully done. They're all soldered. They also have a little heat shield over them. So you'll notice on the new ones, there's a little gray rubber that goes over top of the actual connector to insulate it. And they're doing a great job with it. So if you do have a bad XTC connector, my suggestion to you is this. Go back, if you're unsure, go back and just take your knife and take off that shrink tubing that is around it. Double check it. If it's soldered, you're okay. Just throw on another piece of shrink tubing and you'll be fine. If not, cut it off, strip the wires, get yourself some proper XTC connectors and put them on. You can get them online, you can get them at hobby stores that sell RCs because they're very, very much used in the RC world. High-tech redneck Hatchbox ABS is good. .gp, printing my second benchy as we speak. This one has very fine stringing. The first one did not. Only difference is I have a hormone duct fan. Any ideas? I'm not familiar with that fan. However, I think you said hormone there, didn't you? Yeah, Herome fan, or duct fan. No, I don't know why you'd be getting stringing. Has your filament been out for a while? because it can absorb moisture even in this type of weather. It could have gotten some moisture, and that can add stringing a little bit. Just recently got my E3D V6 for my Ender 3. Had a clone though. Thought the clone was the problem. Had the same problem with the authentic version. Any recommendations having problems with the hot and clogging? Mikey, here's your problem. You've got too much retraction. What's happening is when you put on an E3D V6, an actual E3D V6, if you've got too much retraction, it's pulling back into that cold zone, and then it's having a hard time pushing it back through. I think that's probably your problem. So check your retraction settings in your slicer. Hey, there's Jake from State Farm. Buy cheap, buy twice. That's correct. Terry Murphy says, I got the bad one. Marv says, XT60, yes, XT60. That's the one we were talking about. Hero Me, Corey Mack says. No, I'm not familiar with the Hero Me one. Hey, is there any way that you can leave me a link to a good CR10 profile for Cura or simplified 3D? Trevor Rickard. Trevor, here's what I'm going to say to you. If you are using Cura, get rid of the current one that you have, because chances are you've made some changes to it. And I went through this with a client the other day. They had made a whole bunch of changes to their slicer profile because they were reading them on the internet. And I have found that the default profiles in the latest version of Cura, which is 4.4.1, work amazingly well, both for the CR10 and the entire Creality line. I use the stock profiles. I don't change them, and I get beautiful prints. This was a stock profile and came out beautiful, nice and clean, and there's nothing wrong with this. Absolutely nothing. Okay, I got to move my mouse here. Alterations. I've also been getting some very fine stringing on Arion Silk at 205. Take that up to 210. It'll eliminate your stringing and add some retraction. DS19, what do you think of solid mounts versus springs? I've used them both. If you're using a BL Touch and a genuine BL Touch, I would say that you can go to using solid mounts. I did it on one of my printers. It worked beautifully. I got beautiful prints off of it. If you don't have to futz with your bed leveling, it just makes life so much easier. So the BL Touch and solid mounts, I think, are a good combination, but you really have to make sure that your bed is somewhat level before you do that. So if you're going to put solid mounts in, if you're using a Creality product, they have that plastic retention piece off the back of the heated bed. What I would do is you're going to have to use a smaller spacer. That's a Hero Me fan duct, Richard. Yeah, well, I got that. Thanks, Ben. Raymond's answering some questions. Raymond Emsley, also my co-worker. He is in our chat, monitoring our chat this evening. Jason Silver, what's the max retraction you would recommend for a E3D V6? Probably no more than about 3 to 4 millimeters. That's what I would recommend. John Kitchen, does anyone have Cura crashes at startup at 4.4.1? I have not, but I'm also running it on a fairly high-end i7. So yeah, it's an 8700K. So I haven't had any crashes on 4.4.1. If you're getting crashes, what I'd recommend that you do, if you know how to do this, John, is wipe it out, like delete it from your hard drive, go into the registry, delete all the registry tags that tell you about that software, then reinstall it and see if that doesn't solve your problem. Trevor, you're so very, very welcome. M50 Bobber, I was in with a messed setting. Oh, I was in with the mess setting. I went back to stock and now works great. Excellent. Alterations. I printed some solid mounts out of PETG and a BL Touch. I really like it. I'm aware that PETG may melt eventually and should get ABS or metal ones. Alterations? No. PETG, ABS, they both have very similar strength properties, very similar melting properties. So you can use either one. Just to give you an idea, Prusa builds all their machines now, all their printed parts are printed in PETG. So PETG is just fine for that BL Touch mount. It's also fine for anything that you're gonna put around your hot end as well. So just keep that in mind. DS19, you're so very welcome. Hey, we're 9 minutes out from the end of the show. Wow, that went fast. That went amazingly fast. I'm trying to keep up with everything over here, so I do apologize if I keep turning away. But again, on Wednesday, we're going to open it up for your questions again. So watch for that on our Facebook page. Watch for it on our YouTube community posts as well. We're starting to use that more. I'm going to be using Instagram a lot more. You're going to see some new behind-the-scenes footage. We are working on the studio. Brian and I were in there for a good chunk of today, and we were working on the studio. That's why I came on so close to 7 or right at 7 today. Usually I'm on about 5 to 7. But what happened was we just got bogged down, and I had to finish up here and try and get this set up so that we could work down here tonight. Alterations, thanks. You're a valuable resource. Thank you very much for saying that. I do appreciate that. Again, if you guys are looking for t-shirts, we have our own merch. I'm not wearing my own merch tonight. Of course, I'm wearing YouTube's merch. Somebody sent me a bunch of YouTube stuff. I got a coffee mug, I got a hat, and I got this wonderful shirt. And that's the hat you guys keep seeing me wear on the show. I don't know who sent it to me. I don't know why it was sent to me. I don't think it came directly from YouTube, but I could be wrong. Whoever did send it to me, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I got it shortly after we hit 10,000 subs, and I couldn't be happier. We are crawling up on that 13,000 subs. We're really, really close. As you guys know, my goal this year is to get us to 30,000 subs and also get Brian and I to Shenzhen to bring you guys some great content from China. We want to go and see some of the factories there. We have a translator lined up for us who speaks Mandarin very well and speaks English very well as well. So, thank you. Thank you. Jake from State Farm says the beard is looking good. Mikey says, no crashes here on the new Cura, and my computer is really outdated. So there you go. So it should work. I've got it here on my laptop, and this is only like a Celeron in my laptop. So it's like, I don't know, a few years old, this laptop. And it works on here. It's slow, but it works. Joseph Jolly, like your show, learning a lot. Fairly new to 3D printing. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Getting back to merch, we do have our own merch. It's on Teespring, and there's a link in the description below. If you guys are looking for our t-shirts that say the first layer, we really appreciate when you guys send in your pictures. We had a lovely grandma who is a viewer of the show. She bought a t-shirt and she put a picture up on our Facebook page, and we want to see that on our Facebook page. I want to talk about that really quickly because I had some feedback on it over the last few weeks. There has been some people that have been promoting their own YouTube channels. That Facebook page, just so you guys are aware, is an extension of this show, as you guys all know, because you follow us on Facebook. So we're trying to discourage other people from kind of poaching from us, but we do from time to time, we want to talk about creators. Ben Brady's got a great little YouTube channel. Of course, Jerry Knapp's got a great little YouTube channel as well. They're both growing, and you know, we want to help those guys out because they've been loyal fans of the show, and they've been loyal members of our community. They help you guys out. Ben's always posting new things that he's designed and printed, so go and check him out on his YouTube channel. Something text, and Ben, you can put it in the chat there below. So Tim McCoyne, thank you very much. Have a good evening, sir. Snapshot. I was trying to print a drink coaster with two different materials. First few layers was red TPU. Second and third layers were gray with and then white PLA. Tried using Cura to pause print. Layers need to change material, but it only worked one time. All other assumptions, it seems to skip the commands. Any thoughts? I know with Simplify 3D, you can actually split it up into three processes where it actually becomes three separate files that you will save to your drive. I'm looking into that for Cura as well, because a lot of you guys use Cura. So I want to be able to show you guys how to do multicolor prints with a single nozzle on Cura using different materials. So stay tuned for that. Sorry, is that G-string or T-string? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Running an Intel i5 gaming CPU, that seems good. That should work. Usually if you have crashes with Cura, it's a problem with your Python install, Ben's saying. That could very well be as well. Teespring, yes, not G-string, T as in Thomas. Teespring, Teespring. There's coffee mugs there's t-shirts, there's hoodies. I still need to get myself a hoodie because it's freaking cold here in Manitoba, I don't live in Manitoba. I haven't lived there for 13 years. Here in Alberta, it's just been incredibly cold in Alberta. That's the error message, I think. Okay, 3D Printing Texan. Okay, Ben Brady is the 3D Printing Texan. Go check him out. DS9's playing EverQuest while watching the show. I haven't played EverQuest since the original EverQuest came out. I think the original was done by the same people who did Leisure Suit Larry, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But we are 2 minutes to the end of the evening. Thank you, John Kitchen. Thank you all. Thank you again all for showing up. I want to thank Spool 3D because without them, you know, I wouldn't have a studio to work out of over there. And they supply me with what I need sometimes. But hey, just so you guys know, I do pay for the products that I keep from that show. So very seldomly do I get anything for free there. So you guys got to know that. Play WoW here, John Kitchen says. Manitoba, uncivilized Canada. Manitoba's not uncivilized. World of Tanks, Snapshot. I play World of Warships, Snapshot. I love World of Warships. It's 75 here, John. Fine, 75. I'm not happy. But that being said, guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I do appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out and asking your questions. I hope I answered them for you. Leave a comment down below if you like tonight's video. Leave us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's all up to you. We don't mind what you do. And let us know how we can improve this show for you guys to get better information as we move forward with Ask for Help. Until I see you next time, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print.